Enter Ebenezer Scrooge. No. Enter Ebenezer Scrooge. It's missing something. What? No. Too juvenile. Heavens, no. But don't just stand there like a stick of wood. Inspire me.
I spotted you sneaking away. What are you up to? Not giving up literary criticism for haberdashery, I hope.
This, my dear Lemon, this is the next ghost. The ghost of Christmas, something or other.
Really? To be played by you, I presume?
Naturally.
Do you think the others will cooperate? Such advanced planning may not be strictly fair.
Oh, of course they'll cooperate. It benefits the story immensely. What are they up to downstairs?
Oh, he has them on another scavenger hunt. Anything proper in the trunk?
Some chalk in case Stanfield is seized with the urge to draw scenery. Here, let's see what it looks like.
Pardon? Where did you find this?
In the linen closet.
Oh, Forrester, the thought of you, who strikes unholy terror into the hearts of fledgling writers, plundering a linen closet so that you may run about as a ghost? Well, it's droll. I think I'll put it in the next edition of Punch.
Don't you dare! Now, hold it up. Now bring it down slowly. Well, what do you think?
I think it looks like a scarecrow.
You're right. It needs something to top it off. To round it out. Come with me. Now, come over here. Get up here.
What?
Get up here. Come.
What the devil?
Now, put these on. Oh, good.
Oh, my idea of Christmas Eve is good company, a decent meal, and a warm parlor.
Get on my shoulders.
What?
Sit on my shoulders.
Oh, I don't like heights, and acrobatics is not at all.
Oh, look at it this way. If I should collapse, we'll both be in the parlor. My God, are you sure you haven't eaten?
Well, are you going to lift me or not?
I'm trying. 1, 2, 3.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
I'm afraid, Lemon, this is not going to work.
Of course not. It took you long enough to see the blinding light of that revelation.
I assure you it had nothing whatsoever to do with light. Help me hide these things.
Here by the window seat. Ghosts are not my forte. I specialize in more substantial beings.
Well, I still need something.
Here. Try this. That should sit more lightly on your troubled brow. It'll give him a start as well. Well, the coat rack.
Oh, yes.
Gentlemen, I see we've come prepared to carry on the tale.
We have?
Excellent. Good. The room is all in order. Good. I'm arranging a small processional.
Evidently, we're in for a start as well.
Don't stop those, Frederick. No, you're in front and you're behind. Up you go, Charlie. You're first.
Well, I'm glad nothing out of the ordinary is happening this Christmas.
Don't eat it, Stanley. Carry it. Don't bruise that fruit, Frederick. No possibility, Newton defied.
Are we about to cannibalize our dinner for the sake of the story?
Never fear, Uncle Porpoise. This is just the beginning of the feast.
I certainly hope so. The poor beast is stunted.
It's not so small if you ask me.
No, it's not the main course. Mrs. Dickens, in her wisdom, decided that a smaller goose should be procured in the event that the first goose proved not large enough. You'll be happy to know, Uncle Porpoise, that the senior goose is safe simmering in the oven.
Not that he didn't try to get that one, too.
There's barely a thing left downstairs. Mary is positively in a turmoil.
And she should be, having Christmas dinner stolen from under her nose like that.
Nonsense. Mary is an excellent woman and a cook most adaptable to any situation. In any event, I've sent her home where she ought to be on Christmas Eve.
I say, Dickens, may we, for the sake of the story, for the sake of the children, that is, put these things down?
Yes, edibles on the window seat and utensils on the table.
My God, have you been to a pawn shop?
No, these are from the cellar, Forster. Relics from my ancient past. Frederick will recognize them as the family tinware. It did, in fact, spend some time in the local pawn shop. We've yet to examine one of the families we've introduced. These few domestic items will help to furnish their lodgings. Now, I've seen another vision.
Lord help us.
This time the child is singing, so warm up your voices.
It could be worse. What if he were flying?
We left Ebenezer Scrooge in bed, vainly trying to recall and mend his unpleasant past, and wondering what spirits await him in the present and the future. Gentlemen of the free and easy sort who pride themselves on being acquainted with a move or two express the wide range of their capacity for adventure by observing that they're ready for almost anything from pitch and toss to manslaughter. Without venturing for Scrooge quite as heartily as this, I don't mind calling on you to believe that he was ready for a good broad field of strange experiences. Nothing from a baby to a rhinoceros would have astonished him much. Yet, being prepared for almost anything, Scrooge was by no means prepared for nothing. The bell tolled once, but no shape appeared. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, yet nothing came.
Ho, 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 ho. Enter Ebenezer the Scrooge. Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
You have never walked forth with the younger members of my family, my brothers born in these later years.
I have not. Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for.
Nor have I seen the likes of you. You're so sour the blood's gone bad in your veins.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion and learned a lesson that is working still. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Prophet, touch my robe.
I wonder what has happened to Father then. And little tiny Tim. And Martha certainly wasn't this late last year. By half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Here's Mother. There's such a goose, Martha.
Why, bless you, dear. But how late you are. They're keeping you longer and longer at the Milners.
We had a tremendous deal of work to finish up last night and clear away this morning.
Working on Christmas Eve. Well, so long as you're here now. Sit down by the fire, dear, and have a warm.
Here's Father. Hi, Martha. Hi.
Where?
Merry Christmas, my dears. Merry Christmas, Peter.
Merry Christmas, Father.
Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
What, not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
She had so much work at the Milners. They sent someone round to tell the families that all the girls would be staying.
Oh well, she feels she must stay, will abide by her good judgment. Although it hardly seems fair, working on Christmas Day.
Here I am, Father. I can't stand to see you disappointed, even for a joke.
Well then, we're together after all. It will be a Merry Christmas.
Peter, take Tim off to the wash house. The goose will be ready before we know it.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Timothy. This way.
And tend to the pudding, Belinda. It mustn't be overdone.
What if it was?
How did Tim behave at church?
Oh, as good as gold, and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much, and he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me coming home from church that he hoped people saw him in church because he was a cripple, and that it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas Day who it was that made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Then we trotted around to the shops where he stared for the longest time at the toys. Sensing his spirits beginning to droop, we galloped straight away to Cornhill Street, where in honor of its being Christmas, we went down the slide 20 times.
25.
Correct you are, Tim, 25. And all along the way, any number of acquaintances stopped to remark that Tim is looking stronger and heartier every day.
You haven't made your punch yet, Father. It can't be Christmas without your special punch.
Why, you're right. Whatever could I be thinking to forget that? Here's Christmas supper, almost on the table, and not a drop of punch in sight. No matter, though, easily remedied.
Here we are, perfectly cleaned and wonderfully stored.
Good. The goose is all but calling to be let out of the oven. Martha, help your father with the punch.
Oh, no need, no need. All done and in a trice.
Ah, remarkable time, Father.
Let no man say that old Bob Cratchit can't mix his Christmas punch with the swiftest of them.
Here's the goose.
Ooh, bravo, glorious verse.
A simply sumptuous-looking fowl, Mrs. Cratchit.
So small a goose for so large a family?
And a pudding. Have you ever seen such a one, I ask you, Martha?
Never. The girls at the shop would be positively ashamed to display theirs anywhere in the vicinity.
And you, Master Peter, have you ever set eyes on the mortal pudding which could match this wonder?
In all my years as a Christmas pudding observer, I've never seen a finer.
And that's a high compliment indeed. Tell me a higher one and I'll use it. And as for myself, Mrs. Cratchit, I think that this is your greatest success since our marriage.
Well, it's a great weight off my mind. I don't mind confessing I had my doubts about the quantity of flour.
Never fear, Mother, it's perfect.
And now, my dears, before plunging into this splendid feast, I'd like to propose a health. Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Kind Spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here.
But what of it? If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Man, if man you be, forbear that wicked cant until you've discovered what the surplus is and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live and what men shall die? It might be that, in the sight of heaven, you are less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
It may be, Spirit, it may be.
My dears, a toast. A toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which we drink to the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. No one knows better than you do.
My dear, it's Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health, for your sake, and the day's, not for his. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to him. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
I wouldn't give tuppence for Mr. Scrooge. Either would I.
Have an open heart, I beg you. It's Christmas after all. And in many ways, I think that Mr. Scrooge is a lot less fortunate than we are.
Impossible.
Not at all. Compare our condition with that of Mr. Scrooge's. He has no family to gather around him, no warmth, no cheer. He has none but his own voice to listen to and none to answer. I believe that he is a good deal less fortunate than we are.
A clerk who makes 15 shillings a week, and he counts himself more fortunate than you.
And remembering those less fortunate than us, let us say grace. Kind Father, bless our humble portion. Bless our home, bless our family, bless our happiness. May we share it with any who may ask. In your name, amen.
You cannot move within that circle.
Why not, Spirit?
Did you not hear the clerk take the measure of his employer? You are drifting alone outside and cannot get in. You have no circle.
There was a time when I had, Spirit.
How many years ago? That kind circle has long since withered, and you have cast it from your heart.
I deny it, Spirit. I deny it. If any kindness is withered within me, it has done so of its own accord. I had nothing to do with it. Kindness wishes to wither, it withers.
Have you not seen, nor heard, you unrepentant little man? You have a long journey to make, and but a short time in which to make it. Let us see another house in this teeming city.
Everyone have theirs? Good. Now place it at the end of your nose like this. Ready? Now repeat after me. Should be boiled in his own pudding.
Should be boiled in his own pudding.
And be buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
And be buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
And that's I would. He said Christmas was a humbug. He believed it too.
More shame for him, friend.
Oh, he's a comical old fellow, that's the truth. Though not as pleasant as he might be. Though his offenses carry their own punishment, and I'll have nothing to say against him.
He must be very rich. At least you always tell me so.
What of it, my dear? His wealth does no good to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. And he hasn't the satisfaction of ever thinking he's going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him, Fred.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself always. He takes it into his head to dislike us, won't come to dine with us. What's the consequence? He doesn't miss much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he misses a very good dinner.
He does.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I have much faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper?
Oh, I am a bachelor. And a bachelor is a wretched outcast who has no right to express an opinion on the subject.
Do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he's about to say. He's such a ridiculous fellow.
I was only going to say, my dear, that the consequences of his disliking us is that he misses a few pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. And I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help but thinking better of it if he finds me going there year after year and saying, Uncle Scrooge, how are you? If it only puts him in mind to leave his poor clerk £50, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
Oh, I don't think there's any more chance of shaking Mr. Scrooge than there is a chance of shaking the Rock of Gibraltar.
Less, I should think.
My dear Frederick, I do believe that you promised that a song would issue from the throat of our lovely hostess. Am I right, sir, or am I mistaken?
Not mistaken at all. On your behalf, my dear, I pledged that you'd sing us a song befitting the season.
You did?
I had to. It was the only course of preventing Topper from playing his violin. And as I made the pledge over a punch bowl, you really must oblige. Any promise made near a punch bowl is a binding one. It's a grave risk to one's honor not to carry it through.
If you don't sing, then we'll have no recourse than to put this little warbler into the field, and we might all have cause to regret that.
Well, I'm a very fine singer. I once sang a solo in church.
In church? Would you consider a duet?
We'll both sing to rescue Fred's honor. Of course. Now let me think. Oh, I know. The one Fred was taught by his mother.
Oh, the Christmas Child. Good. That's my favorite. Do you know that one, Topper?
I know them all.
Oh, Christmas child, why do you cry, little Christmas child? Old men need your smile. What a world of joy, cries the Christmas boy. Is lost in the hearts of men. Come you see this sight on this Christmas night. A star is ablaze within.
Oh, Christmas child, I see the star, little Christmas child, shining from your heart. And an old man's heart chanted wide with hope on this Christmas night. It's the star of cheer, singing peace is here. Rejoice, rejoice, for this wondrous sight. Oh, Christmas child, you've made me wise, little Christmas child. I'm your Christmas child. Bravo, Freddie. I commend your choice in songbirds. What net did you use to catch her?
Topper, whatever makes you think that he caught me?
A game is in order, I think.
A game! Blind man!
Blind man's bluff, an excellent idea, my dear.
I volunteer.
No, Freddie, quite all right. I volunteer. In fact, I insist.
Oh, your very wish, my dear Topper. Now, where's that handkerchief? Aha! There it is. Any last requests?
Only one.
Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, who have we here? Why, I really had no idea. I thought it was dear old Mrs. Fred.
No, he didn't, Spirit. He knew who it was all along. Cheater!
Another game.
Another? Let's sit down.
A word game then.
My time grows short.
But there's another game, Spirit. One more game.
If you wish, but you might not find this one as amusing.
This game is called Yes and No. I think of something, and you have to guess what it is by asking me questions, which I can answer either yes or no. All right, I've got it.
What is it?
Is it a living thing?
Yes.
Is it an animal?
Yes.
Is it a tame animal?
No, rather disagreeable.
Is it savage then?
Yes, fierce.
Does it make a noise?
Yes.
Does it bark?
In my opinion, no, though some may differ upon that point.
Does it meow?
Definitely not.
That rules out cats.
Does it howl?
No, not its style.
Does it growl?
Or grunt?
Yes, I would say it does both.
He's got him stumped. Clever boy, Fred.
Is it a bear?
No.
Does it live in the jungle?
No.
Does it live in a zoo?
No, at least I don't think of it as a zoo.
What does that mean he doesn't think of it as a zoo?
Oh, it must be a city then. Is it a city?
Yes.
Clever boy, but not clever enough for my Fred.
Is it London?
Yes, again.
Does it walk the streets?
Yes.
Does anyone have to lead it?
Not that I've ever known. Heavens, no.
Not a dog or a horse, then. Or is it a person?
Is it sold in a market?
No, though it's often found near the exchange.
What sort of animals found near the exchange?
Is it a sociable creature?
Most unsociable.
Does it live among others of its kind?
It positively despises its kind.
Is it an ass?
How can it be an ass, you goose? Ass's leg.
No.
It grunts and it growls, lives in London, walks the streets, is disagreeable, and
I know it! It's the tax collector!
Well then, Freddie, if that's the case, then your answer to is it a bear should have been yes.
But he's not a bear.
True, but your negative answer was sufficient to divert our attention from him.
He's given us plenty of merriment, that's the truth. And it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
You seem to be the source of much merriment.
Yes, for others. Your hair is growing gray, Spirit. Are spirits' lives so short?
My life upon this globe is very short. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
At midnight. The time grows near.
What place is this?
Children are buried here.
Children?
It is the primary requirement for admittance that they be under the age of 10.
Of what did these children die?
Of too cruel a contact with the world. Of cold. Of hunger. Of poverty. Of disease. Of the ruthless neglect of the comfortable thousands.
But they are buried so closely together, they're almost on top of one another.
A natural occurrence when their numbers are so great and each child so small.
But where did these children come from, that their lives should end so soon?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Garrett, don't leave me in this place. I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not yet happened, but that will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Oh, ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. But I know your purpose is to do me good, and I hope to live to be another man from what I've been. So I'm prepared to bear your company. Will you not speak to me? Lead on. The night is waning fast. Time is precious to me, I know it. Lead on.
I say, have you heard the news?
Indeed I have.
You know the details.
No, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, whatever was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very small funeral, for upon my life I don't know of anybody going to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going, if a lunch is provided. I'll make the pilgrimage, but I must be fed.
Well, I am the most disinterested among you, for I never attend funerals and I never eat lunch. But I'll go if an invitation is made. I'm not sure I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and chat whenever we met. Oh, bye-bye. Mustn't miss the morning's trading.
Why, Spirit, this is the exchange. These are men of business. Very wealthy, very important. They are my very good friends, for I always make a point of standing well in their esteem. But if this is the exchange, and these are my acquaintances, where am I? I don't seem to be standing in my usual corner, and this is most certainly my time of day. Spirit, I have been revolving in my mind a change in life. Could this be the outcome?
Met in a better place. We're all well suited to our calling. We're well matched.
What odds? What odds then, Mrs. Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of himself. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Well, then don't stand staring as if you was a bride woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
I should hope not.
Indeed.
Very well, and that's enough. Who's the worse for a loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
Not him.
True enough. If he wanted to dispose of him when he was dead, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had someone to be there with him when he was struck with death, instead of
gasping out his last, alone there.
Them's the truest words ever was spoke. It's a judgment on him, the wicked old screw.
And I wish it were a little heavier one. And it would have been too if I could have laid me hands on anything else. Examine me bundle, Joe, and let me know the value of it. I'm not afraid to be the first, no afraid for them to see it. We knew pretty well we was helping ourselves before we met here, I believe. It's no sin. Examine me bundle, Joe.
No, my dear, I think not. Examine my lot first, Joe.
That's what I've admired in you all these years. Always a gentleman.
These are originals. Haven't seen their like in nearly half an hour. There's your account. Wouldn't give you another sixpence if I'd be boiled for not doing it. Why, you don't try nothing. Oh, man. Who's next?
I'll be next. Them's nice items, Joe. Barely used. Don't suppose he ate off them much. Probably thought they was too valuable to wear out rubbing against his tongue.
2 shillings.
Worth twice that much.
What are these? Mighty handsome. Might them know 4 shillings.
I'd pay a high price for them boots. Boots is precious these days.
Have pity on me, Miss Silver. Just an old man trying to survive me retirement. Dirty. Could last another winter. But ain't the style after no go for that.
What you being so pinch-fisted about? Your regular miser as bad as he. No one cares a penny for style.
I always give too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and that's all will come to ruin myself. And if you ask me for another penny, I'll regret being so liberal and not go after a crown.
Examine me bundle, Joe.
What's this? Is coverlet?
Here's coverlet.
You don't mean to say you took it right off him with him laying there?
I do. Why not?
Ah, you were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I shan't hold me hand when I can take anything by reaching out, especially for the sake of such a man as he was. I promise ya, he ain't likely to take gold without it, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Don't be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of him that I'd hang about him if he did. You can look through that shirt till your eyes fall out. You won't find a hole in it or a threadbare place. Best you had it, a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if they hadn't been for me.
What you call wasting it?
Putting it on him till we buried him. Somebody was fool enough to do it. And I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good for anything. It's quite as becoming to the body. And he can't look any uglier than he did in that one.
What's this?
That's the prize of it all, that is. Wrapped in a piece of paper under a pile of old ledgers at the bottom of a trunk.
Wonder what he was doing with such a thing. Think he was going to give it to some lady.
None of their proper minds would have such a one as he was.
Here we go. Valuable piece. fetch a nice price and feed old Joseph for a month. There.
That's the end of it all, you see. He frightened everyone away from me while he was alive, to profit us when he was dead.
Spirit, I see. I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. It tends that way now. Merciful heavens, what is this? Is this the man, Spirit, whose belongings those scavengers have plundered? Spirit, this is a strange place. In leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson. Let us go. Oh, I understand, Spirit. I would do it if I could. But I have not the power, Spirit. I have not the power. Surely there is one man, woman, a child who will speak kindly of him. Show me that person, Spirit, I beseech you. Let me see then some tenderness connected with the death, or this dark chamber shall forever be present to me.
The light hurts my eyes. It makes them weak, working by candlelight. For the world, I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home. It must be near his time.
Past it, rather. But I think he's walked a little slower these past few nights.
With Tim on his shoulder, he used to walk very fast indeed.
I've known him to run. Nearly.
He galloped.
He was very light to carry, and your father loved him so. It was no bother. There's your father now.
Merry Christmas, my dears.
Merry Christmas.
The goose smells delicious. And the pudding, I think I can taste it already. Did you help your mother, Belinda?
She made the pudding.
By myself, I did.
No. You'll have your own bakery before you know it.
You were gone a long time, Bob.
Yes, I took the longer way.
You went today, then?
Yes. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is even this time of year. I promised him we'd go there often of a Sunday.
I'll go soon, when the weather warms.
I should be making my punch.
Oh, it's already made, Father. I wanted to save you the trouble.
No, it's no trouble. It's always my greatest pleasure this time of year. And this is the best time of year, is it not? Am I right, Peter?
Yes.
Of course. You'll never guess who I met on the way home today. Mr. Scrooge's nephew. He only sees me once a year, yet he talked as if we were the oldest of friends and on the most intimate of terms. He said that he'd heard of our distress and that he was mighty sorry for it. And heartily sorry, he said, for your good wife. By the by, how he knew that, I'll never know.
How we knew what, dear?
Why, that you're a good wife.
Everyone knows that.
Yes, well spoken, Peter. I should hope they did. Heartily sorry for your good wife, he said. And now, my dears, gather round for a toast. Merry Christmas, my dears. And to a healthy new...
Oh, my boy. My poor little boy. Spirit. Is there a reason the boy had to die? I know not how. Something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. Who was that dead man whom we saw lying there? Spirit, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or the shadows of things that may be only? Kind Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I have been. Why show me these things if I am beyond all hope? Kind Spirit, you pity me. No, Spirit, no. I will honor Christmas in my heart. I will strive to live it all the year. I will live in the past, and the present, and the future. Spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Spirits, tell me that I have the power to sponge away the writing on the stone. Spirit, I will live in the past, and the present, and the future. In the past, and the present, and the future. In the past, and the present, and the future. I'm alive. I'm alive. Why? This bed is my own. And this room is my own. And the time before me is my own. Why, the ghost spared me. I knew he would. I will live in the past and the present and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley. Heaven and Christmas be praised for this. I say it on my knees, oh Jacob, on my knees. Why, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Oh, I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Why? There's the saucepan where the gruel was in, and the door where the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. And the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. Oh, Merry Christmas to the world. Happy New Year to everybody. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I'd rather be a baby. Hello. Glorious, glorious. Hello there. Hello. What's today? What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. Why, the spirits did it all in one night. They can do anything they want to, of course they can. Hello there. Hello.
No.
Do you know the poultry's on the next street but one? One on the corner?
I should hope I did.
Oh, intelligent boy. Remarkable boy. Do you know if they sold the prize goose yet? Not the little prize goose, but the big one.
What's the one as big as me?
Oh, delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes.
It's hanging there now.
Well, is it? Go and buy it.
Buy it yourself.
No, I'm serious. Go and buy it. Have the man bring it round here so I can tell him where to send it. Bring the lad back in 5 minutes and I'll give you a shilling. I bring him back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
Darn!
Right. I'll have him send it around to Bob Cratchit's house. He won't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. It's 4 times the size of Tiny Tim.
Wonderful.
Yes, all in all, a successful day.
This glorious day of today.
Yes, and it will be a Merry Christmas for some small children that we helped make happy.
Oh, I'm sure. Very, very sure. Oh, dear.
The Scrooge and Marley's, I believe.
Right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I do hope you were successful yesterday. It was very kind of you. A wonderful gesture. Merry Christmas to you both.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name. I am afraid it may be unpleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon. Will you have the goodness to...
Lord bless me! He wants to donate £50. My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
Not a farthing less. A good many back payments are due within it. Will you do me that favor?
My dear Mr. Scrooge, I don't know what to say to such munificence.
Well, don't say anything. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
Oh, I will. And I will. We both will.
Thank you. I'm much obliged to you both. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Scrooge went to church, walked the streets, patted the children on the head. He'd never dreamed that anything could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps toward his nephew's house. He walked past the door a dozen times before he had the courage to knock.
Fred, it's Uncle Scrooge! It's Uncle Scrooge!
Let him in. It's a mercy he didn't shake his arm off. Why, Scrooge was right at home in 5 minutes. The niece was the same. So was Topper. So was the sister. It was a wonderful party. Wonderful games. Wonderful unanimity and wonderful happiness. But Scrooge was all the earlier at the office the next morning. He wanted to be there first so that he could catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That is what he had his heart set upon. The bell tolled 9, and no Bob. 1:15, and no Bob. He was a full 18 minutes late.
Morning, Mr. Scrooge.
Good morning, Mr. Scrooge. What do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?
I'm sorry, Mr. Scrooge. I know I'm a bit behind my time.
I should say you are. Step this way this minute, young man.
Mr. Scrooge,
I
we are
want
making...
to tell you something, my friend. I am not going to put up with this any longer. And therefore, I am about to raise your salary. I will raise. Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas than I have given you for many a year. I will raise your salary. I shall endeavor to assist your family, and we shall discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a bowl of your special Christmas punch. Make up the fire, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Yes, sir, Mr. Scrooge. Thank you. And a Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, Jacob Marley, I shall remember you as long as I live. Merry Christmas, Jacob, wherever you are. Scrooge was as good as his word and better. He did it all and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, as good a man as the good old city knew. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and paid them little heed. But he was wise enough to know that nothing happens for good on this globe at which some people do not have their fill of laughter at the outset. His own heart laughed, and that was enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits. Instead, he lived the total abstinence principle. And it was said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas, if any man alive possessed that knowledge. And I might add, Scrooge never again attempted to forget his past or make an orphan of it. Instead, he gained from its lessons and made it a part of him. For it occurred to him that his Maker, and ours too, gave us memory with a specific purpose in mind.
Speaking of memory, I recall there being a large goose in the oven downstairs. Are we going to eat it or aren't we?
Directly.
Are you going to write this story down?
Well, that might be a good idea, Charlie. We can't very well go on having these lavish feasts for the sake of Uncle Porpoise's stomach without providing the means for the goose and the stuffing, can we?
Then you'll need these.
What is it? Not a clock, I'll be bound.
Merry Christmas.
Why, thank you, Charlie. Never fear, Uncle Porpoise. Next year's gathering is assured.
Well, let's attend to this year's gathering first. And as Mary's gone home, we're going to need some assistance.
Helen and I will check the goose.
We mustn't let it get overdone.
What if it were? Run, Helen!
I'd better go behind and give him a push in case he gets jammed in the stairwell.
Help the ladies with the punch, Stanley.
Of course.
Frederick, the glasses. Charlie and I can take care of the rest.
You know, Freddie, overall, I was quite impressed with most of your performances. Except for a major flaw here and there in some of your characterizations, you really quite surprised me. Didn't he surprise you, my dear?
Oh, yes. I was very impressed. I never knew you were hiding so much talent.
Don't get him going. He'll go on for hours.
Yes, that's why you're just a painter, Stanley. The bulk of your talent is yet to find its way out of your right eye. I, contrarily, well, what more can be said?
Very little, I'm sure.
Merry Christmas.
The same to you.
I like the story.
Good. I have an idea for another one. Would you like to hear it?
Does it have a boy in it?
Yes, but no crutch. There are two children, a boy and his sister, and a sea captain and a mate. Now the father of these two children is a fellow named, let's say, Dombey.
child, oh Christmas child, why do you cry, little Christmas child? Old men need your smile. What a world of joy is lost in the hearts of men. Come, you see this sight on this Christmas night. A star is ablaze within. Oh Christmas child, oh Christmas child, you made me wise, little Christmas child.